Hi everyone. Today is Monday. It is August the 26th. We've got some pretty interesting earnings coming up this week, but overall, not a ton of news until Wednesday/Thursday. And so we'll be looking at what our current formation is. We're building megaphones all over the place. I am using this hull because it's going to keep us on the right side of the chart. So if you're wondering, hey, I want to use a hull, I'm using an 18 open, high, low, close divided by 4. So it's an approximation. The way you use a hull is just by looking at the slope. Hey, slope's up, great, buy the dip. Slope starting to flatten out, look for support to the left in direction of the primary trend, and Bob's your uncle. Slope starting to flatten out, look for support along the primary trend. By the time this rotates over, you can see that it's broken primary trend, and the bounce gives you the sell. So if you don't get it on this first formation, you get it over here at the failed retest. And wouldn't you know it, look at that failed retest event. It's right here where these highs are for this breakout formation, all right, in the current megaphone that we're sitting in. All right, so that's what we're looking at. Dips are buy zones. Dips can be giant. So how are we tracking those? We go to the 1 hour chart. First hour of trading in the overnight, we draw Fibonacci and extend to the upside. Only use the 0.618s, and you could use the 2, the 3, the whatever. I do that when it starts getting a little closer to the line. I'll say, ooh, what's that? But these work just fine, right? They end up working very, very nicely. Okay, so that being said, you do it and then you clone it, make sure it's covering the same edges, and then hit reverse, and now you've got upside pressure and downside pressure. Right now, I think it's fairly sideways. I would not be surprised to see us break and roll over. It is by the dip, so the first pass buys into the VWAP should give you the buy zone. We just had that. Now, you can see that they're selling above here. So my thought would be, if you took the long there, look for resistance and take some profit. Because the hull is undulating, you look for relative support. That's going to be a Fibonacci or heavy congestion. You wait for it to get there, you try the long, and if it gives you yet another lower high, you know this is about to turn over. Okay? So that's really what we're looking for. Levels to the upside, 56.65, 56.70. Levels below, value area high, 56.56. Potentially all the way down to the point of control over the next couple of days, 56.35. But I don't expect that. I expect a churning of motion. Dips get bought. They don't get up to the high, they get sold, they get bought, they get sold, and so on and so forth. All right, let's look at the NQ. Oops, and then I will go to, I'll look at SPY and the Qs at the end. So I'm just going to go through the futures first this morning. All right, so now we're looking at the NQ. Same sort of thing. Remember, I said one of the gents that I work and trade with quite often said, hey, keep your eyeballs on that midnight candlestick formation, and lo and behold, came right down, shook out the week longs trying to buy it, and then bounce as she goes. My thought is that this rises into the VWAP at the very least, and then up into 19,817. We do know everyone's staring down the charts for Wednesday, which is when NVIDIA reports, but as it goes today, what we are seeing in the Qs and the NQ are deep fades that bounce. All right, let's take a look at the daily so that we can see how much of that is true. Notice up, we retrace almost half up, we retrace the whole thing from that down candle. Here, we retrace the whole thing, get another new down candle. Here, we retrace almost the entire body on the upshot, and now we're sitting here in another space. It is a megaphone, right? I mean, this is sure. We have a megaphone. So easily we could have ourselves a lower low on the horizon easily. My suspicion is that we don't. My suspicion is that we hold this 600 area fairly evenly, and we go from there. All right, so what it is showing, though, we have a high and a low, and then a higher high and a lower low, and then a higher low and a lower high. So we are definitely in a price compression event that might be holding until Wednesday, when NVIDIA, I think it's Wednesday, whenever they report. All right, so here's the YM, same sort of thing, breakout pattern, right? But also a megaphone. It's currently working on its higher highs, right? My thought last Friday was I am shorting that 40,000. What level did I want? I wanted to short 40,250, right? Worked pretty nicely until the end of the day, and then it started bouncing. And so what we are looking for is we want this chart to settle down. We want it to decide where it's going. Now, you might go, well, it is decide where it's going. It's going up. And the Hull moving average, as well as this, says that that is actually the case. Now, with the dollar falling out of bed, it's awfully cheap for other markets to come in here. I heard something about how the dollar is going to die because of the strength of emerging markets. They don't have a Fed that has a complete chokehold on the entire global economy. So I don't think so, but we'll see. But it is fueling some buying in here, in my mind, right? Because we know foreign investment comes in first through the Dow, right? And so what did I just draw there? I don't want that. We'll draw a line. So this is the edge that we're looking for, 3.618, 41,530 and some change. Looks pretty bullish to me, right? Looks pretty bullish. Now, when you see moving averages like this, you can't simply go, hey, I'm buying the top, because the risk is fairly wide. It's almost 100 ticks wide here, right? And so that's $500 of risk off one contract, and we have no idea if it'll go another 100 ticks. So less than 1-to-1 strength, wait for it to come back into the choppy zones, and then move to the north, okay? The YM and the ES don't have that mystery midnight candlestick like the rest of the folks do, and we have to figure other things out and use these mechanics here. So that being said, that's what we're looking at, okay? Dips 41 to 44 all the way down to the value area high of 41,190, but it looks to me like if we can get to 41,275, it's worth it to try the long there, because the stop is only about 30-40 points maximum. All right, let's take a look at SPY. All right, having a peek right there. SPY is, this was Friday? No, this was Thursday of last week, and 9 to 10. All right, this doesn't let us do that. All right, so if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to do Friday's formation with these candlesticks. Let me remove all of the drawings, as it were. Remove all annotations. All right, and we are going to draw a candlestick Fibonacci off the first hour in the SPY. 930 is the low, so here we go. All right, and we are going to clone, and then we'll just make sure that that clone sits exactly on top of it, and then we just hit properties, click reverse, and it gives us the up and down, and that's what we'll want to do here at the 9:30 to 10:30 hour. Notice this one goes down to the 1.618 here. You can always go back into this space and say, you know what, I want to add something. I want to add, nope, how does that? I think that'll do it. Nope, that won't do it. It marks it out twice. So this area, you can see that it's really coming down into the thin volume profile, and it'll help you. Friday's plotting of Thursday's close on the VWAP gives you a nice area to go, okay, if it can hold that zone, I am going to tick along. So you're going to look for this area at 560 for long. That might hold. 560.44 is that edge. The VWAP is 559.78, but it is an undulating move to the north, and you can see that pretty cleanly. Okay? All right. Let's go to the cues. Just lost my mind for a quick minute. Forgot what I was doing. Here we go with the cues. Oh, wow. That is a volume pocket we probably will visit. Notice, pretty gappy. And if we draw the Fibonacci's, I'm just going to draw one of them, actually. Doesn't let me do it like that. We have to do 9:30 to 10:30. I'm going to delete all of these. Sorry about making this video so long. And we will do this just so you can see how it's done, right? 9:30 high to 10:30. 9:30, just the low and high of the current formation, okay? And so here we have this downward pressure that goes all the way down almost to the 1.618, holds it as a floor, bounces up, value area low, says, you know what? Well, I think I can take a buy. So if you are day trading and you are looking at very small candlesticks, you might be doing yourself a grand disservice in my mind. All right, here is the VWAP from Friday, and they're bouncing off of it. It's also the point of control for this chart on a 30-minute formation, and so it's going to try and bounce, but look at what happened. It gave this away. Things don't look fantastic right there, so you want to be super careful staring down these charts. Good luck trading today. I think it's going to be sloppy, going to be very sloppy. All right, so wait for the lows, wait for the highs, and then pick your poison. Just manage that risk. All right, take care, and I'll see you on the streams.